I want to share with you some of the things I've been writing down this morning. We're in the middle of fall, and this is the time when it's getting cold, and people, usually people are inside. They're inside, and they're being cozy, keeping away from, staying warm, not really expending a lot of energy because they're trying to conserve it because it's going to get colder. So I got up this morning and I started writing down some notes, and I wanted to share with everybody so we can be prepared for the coming months. This is the winter time. We're coming up on winter time, and this needs to be the time that we think about what are we going to be doing for the next couple of months. And my suggestion is that we should get our cue from nature. We should get our cue from nature. Really don't listen to, you really don't have to listen to what other humans say, including me. You don't have to listen to it. Just pay attention to what's going on in nature. Pay attention what's happening in the sky. At night, if you live in a place where the stars, you can see them, the moon angles and all that. Pay attention to that. Start reconnecting yourself back into the natural world. Because if you live in the United States now, you're living like a 99% artificial existence, especially if you live in the cities. So I would pay attention to what's going on, that's not built by men. Pay attention to the trees, pay attention to the mountains, pay attention to what's happening in the oceans, pay attention to what's happening in the sky. And you will start to connect yourself. You will start getting back on that time frame, that time space continuum. Okay, because the artificial world is imploding. It's imploding because it's not real. It doesn't sustain life. Matter of fact, it eats up more life than it gives because it really don't give no life. But you do. You do. You are that. If you ever had your hairs stand on your arms, stand on end, that's energy running through your body. You are that energy for America. The so-called African American, black, color, whatever name you choose, that's what you are to all the economies in the world. And you see it if you live in America. So uh, start getting your cue from the earth, because the earth is at a point now where it has to defend itself, because the stewards of the land who it was given to, especially the Americans, those people, whoever you want to call the indigenous people, you call them Atakanan, whatever, whoever your people were, and you know who you are, those who believe you're some other character in somebody else's story, continue to believe that. No problems. Do that. But the people who were created by America, the people who parents, and I'm sure, and many of you have done your genealogy. Really, you're doing a wonderful job. Find your folks, find your people. You are somebody. Don't make don't let this whatever we living in make you feel like like Trump's something that we should have our children aspire to be. I don't hear I don't hear little black kids saying I want to be president now, because it's fake. And whatever sustained life isn't fake. So get back into the natural world. That's your power. That's where you come from. Stop being afraid of the dark. Go out into nature. Go out into these rivers and lakes. Go to these mountains. Go. They got, hey, I see why everybody come to America. America's a beautiful place. America is like when you walk home and your grandmama clean up the house. It feels like that to everybody else, but we don't want it. We ain't those people. We every person in the book, every person, and we turn our back on our inheritance, our lineage. We turn our backs on it, and other immigrants seeing that you don't want it, they come take it, and you step out of the way so they can feast to it, don't you? Yeah, you do. So pay attention to the natural world, what's going on, and we're gonna give you a couple of tips today because we're not gonna be on here long because it's I mean it's Sunday and people got a lot of stuff to do. So the what we're here for is to help maintain balance on the planet. That's what the people of the earth are supposed to do. Help Earth maintain its balance in the social in the solar system. You have to understand that. That's your first purpose. Before you want to go to school, before you want to be a pastor or whatever, your first job here is to help Earth maintain its balance in the solar system. That's everybody's job on every landmass in the world. They will tell you that. I know because I know you. Fuck, that nigga don't know what he talking about. That's your job. You're not to trash it up. You're not to exploit it. You're supposed to take care of it like you would want it to take care of you. Simple way that the indigenous people thought over here. Simple way. So what you're seeing now is that the indigenous people of America, they're really having a tough go at it, and everybody sees it. I haven't been in California in over a year, but I hear it's messy. It's messy in a lot of other places too, but it's not as pronounced as it is in Los Angeles because number one, Los Angeles, everybody runs there. Why? Because of the weather. Weather's bomb. Weather's nice. And with so many ants on a piece of candy, you're going to have problems. And California's having a problem. So big ups to the people out in California. You got somebody looking out for you. So the topic we're doing this morning is giving you a frame of nature. Start getting you closer to life. Because when you're in the artificial world, you kind of pull yourself away from the natural world. That's like the people who left Mississippi and Alabama when they went to Chicago and New York. They pulled away from their roots. They pulled away what had been sustaining them all those generations before them. And they have an attitude about it too. They're happy they done it because they were convinced to leave their homes in the hands of other people. That's what they did. You don't see that happening anywhere else in the world where people take a stand of their home, where their creators from. All these stories about God and Jesus and all that. All there are stories about each and every last one of us. That's all. That's all it's about. Jesus, that story of Jesus could happen to anybody. Any story could happen to anybody. It could be you or somebody you know. Somebody you know did something far greater, right or wrong. So all those stories are about you to get your focus off of you. That's the whole purpose of it. To distract you into doing something else and something stupid. So we're getting you close to nature. We'll give you a couple of clues today how you get close to it if you just pay attention to these things daily. Because you walk out the house daily, you should see things that are going on around you. But if you ignore it, pretty soon you'll get caught up in it. Okay. Uh, the history of mankind, uh, the history of mankind is, I mean, I don't have to say anything about it, has shown that it doesn't want to do anything right on this planet. All it does is exploit it, burn it down. I mean, I mean, what is the purpose of burning down a rainforest? I mean, seriously, all that life in there, and you're just going to destroy it for what? And when we play into it, when we support what they're doing, what does that say about us? See, that's what the African American is going to have to discuss one day. What about everything that he does to help bring on what we see today? Because we support it. We support it. Matter of fact, we try to do it better than them. I want to say everybody that's here, listening and sending out messages. How's everybody doing today? Um, you know, get ready for the winter, y'all. Because I know many of you see it already. It's cool with like minds, because a lot of people, I'm kind of a loner because everybody want to party. Everybody want to party, and it's not party time. So history has shown that man is a failure at setting things right. Why you got all these homeless people out here, dude? What's that? Come on, come on, really, really? Here you come to another landmass and treat the people of that landmass like they are now, knowing that you have messed them up psychologically, in vitro, and the people are they so gone they don't know because all the chemicals that you have created, everything that you tried to do to wipe us out is not working. So we're going to get back to hooking ourselves back to nature, because if we don't, we're done. People were not designed to be what they are now. I'll say that again. People were not designed to be what they are now. Does everybody understand that? I can't make it any simpler. I can't say it any. People weren't designed what they are to be now. Now they're designed to be what someone tells them they are. That's where you get the term African American. That's where you get the term black. That's where you get the term colored. Other people are naming this group of people, and this group of people are just falling in line like they're in the army somewhere, right or wrong. And they're arrogant about it. I can do what I want to do, nigga. You don't tell me what to do. That's the attitude of the so-called African American. And he can't tell you nothing about his great grandmama, what she did to help maintain this land so her offspring can keep it. The average African American, I would say 90% of African Americans couldn't tell you that and don't care. So this what we're talking about isn't for those people, because they wouldn't understand what I'm about to say right now. And it's simple shit. You're gonna be like, damn. I know the most of the people who went out to the club last night. This is not them. You leave them for the machine. That's what they're being ready for. The type of existence that we're living now in America isn't life sustaining. It doesn't sustain life at all. I mean, so we have to keep that in mind. And what that means is it won't last. And when it won't last, the people that created it, what they will do is discard the rest of the, what they don't need. And here's an example. And this is some simple research that you can do. Notice when they have the Olympics, what is that a chance for the Olympics to do? The Olympics are a chance for you to cleanse, because you're having the world come to your house and you want them to see that you're at your best behavior. So what are you going to do with all these homeless people this coming Olympics? And I would suggest people pay attention to what happened to the homeless people at the Los Angeles Olympics in 84, something like that, 82, I don't know. I would implore you to read the Georgia Guidestones. Don't just read them. Read them with the understanding of what they're talking about. And then ask yourself, why isn't the language of the people of this land in that Georgia Guidestone? We have to start paying attention to what's happening around us and to tap other people on the arm to let them know too. Because we're just in party mode. Somebody reminded me how much the African American spends in football, and he doesn't run an inch of it. Is crazy. It's crazy. So now, getting your cue from nature. The first priority we have to do as indigenous people in America is get a grip on time. We got to get a grip on time, because we're in everybody else's time space continuum because we haven't created one yet. An example would be, how can people set the clock forth and back and you don't have nothing to do with it? What does that do? What does that do to the frequency of the planet? I know you try to say, well, boss said it was for, whatever boss said it is for, that's what it's for, because you don't have no say so. Why does that happen? Where are your holidays? How come you don't make up time? How come you don't name the months? What's the name of your months? The hours of the day. What is your interpretation of that? Or does somebody say, this what time it is and this is the time you're going to go by, and as a little monkey you get in line and do what they say? Is that how you do it? Is that how you do it? Somebody tells you, how does the Chinese time and the people from India time and the people from the Middle East time and the Europeans, why is it a different year in all of those times? Why do they look at time from their point of view? What's your point of view? You don't have one, because somebody tells you that your point of view is what they tell you it is. That's how the African American gets down. This isn't what I say. This is what you do. So we got to get a grip on time. And one of the ways that we can get a grip on time is pay attention to the moon cycle. Because all that you see, the moon, the stars, blah, the nature, the oceans, the trees, stuff that's not man-made. You are a part of that. You're a part of that. You're not some of you are. Some of you are made up in a laboratory. Definitely. Most definitely. If you walk out on any city street in any of these major cities, you will see some people who have been made up. You will see some shit. Because as a group of people, we're not self-autonomous. We're not part of the natural world anymore. We've allowed ourselves to be somebody else's bitch. So that's basically what it is. Anybody who wants to refute that, email me at indigenous64@gmail.com. We can talk about it. And don't make no mistake, with what you see going on in the world, many of us get paychecks to make sure that it goes on. Be wary of those people. Be wary of those people. Be wary of people who will feed you, can serve you any kind of food because it puts money in their pocket. Be aware, read the labels, what you're getting, because food isn't meant to sit on no shelf. What are all these things they're mixing with the food? Why is the life expectancy of the indigenous people, why is it at a low where it used to be 150, 200 years of age? Why is it now like 60s and 70s? That's a lot of people. That's how you kill off a lot of people. Why is it that, you had guys having babies in the 1960s? Guys were having babies and they were 60 years old, 70 years old. Why is it that a man can't get an erection now when he's 30? You got to get a grip on time. You have to develop your own time space continuum. It's just that simple. All that other stuff that you guys are talking about and all these summits and all this bullshit that you be having, that's a waste of time. You're not doing anything. And the people up there who's participating in knows it. The what you see now is about to be finished. It's finished now. Those who can see it. What the African American thinks they're doing, it's not doing anything. It's just keeping them in that perpetual state of dumbness. Okay, I would suggest that the so-called Black Americans, African Americans, Hebrew Israelite, Moors, Black Christians, Black music, Black Muslims, blah blah blah, fucking blah. We got to develop a time reference where everyone is on the same frequency. How is the energy that you expend hourly going to sustain you, or is it going to sustain others? I'll say that again. The energy that you expend hourly. Now, look at yourself like this. Look at you compared to the people in your neighborhood. So it might be you versus 100 other people. The brothers, just do your age range and all this. Compare yourself so you can get a better view of what you're supposed to be doing. You can't just look at things through your eyes because it's more people than just you here. So you have to look at it in a way that's advantageous to you. Don't look at it in a way that somebody else tells you unless you're going to be a part of their group. And the groups now in America, and I would say the world, are failures. Because all they want is the money. All they want is the bling bling, because that what they think make them other people like them. And they're right. People are, fished in by that bling bling, that fake stuff. But damn, you really want to be wearing all that stuff? So compare yourself to people in your neighborhood. Then compare yourself to people in the city. Compare yourself to people in your state, the area that you live in, the Pacific Northwest, the Southeast Corridor, and you will have a different look on. You'll have a different look on life. You won't look at it the same way. Stop letting other people push your emotions. Come on. Stop letting other people push your emotions. You see what they doing to those chicken sandwiches. What they putting in that? I just got something saying 2 million pounds of chicken recalled because they found metal in the chicken. Come on, man. How come we don't produce our own food? How come we walked away from all this land and now are relying on trucks to bring us our food? This is what the African American, Negro, Black people have done in the past 75 years. Where once they used to farm, now if it's not a grocery store in their community, they're crying. What will happen to those people? What will happen to those people if something goes awry? Read those Georgia Guidestones. You better be prepared. You better pay attention to what's going on. Creating our own time space continuum is a must. We have to do that. Where's our holidays that we say this is what we're going to do? Where's ours? So create your own time space continuum. Everybody got to be on the same page. Like you go celebrate New Year in the middle of winter. How dumb do you look? And the New Year don't start until spring. This is the dumbness. And I don't try to be mean. But damn, y'all, you celebrate New Year in the dead of winter, and the New Year don't start till April. Spring, it's springing. Everything is coming. Everything is becoming anew. You don't get that. We don't even get that. So those two small things. Pay attention to the moon cycles. Pay attention to them. Pay attention to when the moon is in the daytime. What does that mean? Because that's the natural world. That's controlling the natural world. You are a part of the natural world. Many of you weren't, I'm sure some of you were. Some of you are clones. Some of you are people that were born and somebody raised you to be a monkey all the way up to now. Come on. I can give trillion of examples. You know what I'm talking about. You are trained to kill yourself. That's it, basically. Anybody wanted to refute me on this, bring all your facts, and I will tear your ass up. The people who call themselves African American were designed to kill themselves out. Number one, other people don't name other people. You can't go tell the people from Germany who they are, but somebody can always tell you who you are. And you with it, you cool with it. You will scratch my eyeballs out for your right to do that. You can do whatever you want to do. That's the attitude of the so-called African American. So those two things will connect you to the natural world, and pay attention to them. I know if you don't pay attention to them, it's kind of hard. It's not hard. You just got to do it. You just got to remember it, and you will. And when you remember it, you'll keep doing it and keep paying attention to it. And what are those two things again? Somebody tell me. See if you know. Create your own time space continuum, and what? Pay attention to the moon cycles, the moon phases. Don't listen to what I say. Just everything else was fluff. Just listen to these two things. Pay attention to the moon cycles. There's other things you can do, and we'll talk about that in the upcoming weeks. Pay attention to the moon cycles. Pay attention to the moon cycles and create your own time space continuum. Why is somebody telling you when you get an education? Why is somebody telling you how old you are? We do all this stuff because other people told us to do it. This is how our lives are ran. We don't think about who says a year was what they say a year is. What do you say a year is? We don't have that power over our own selves. Why? Because we're not in the natural world. We're not in the natural world. We're in the artificial world. And many of us will fight to sustain that. Remember that. Remember that. Many people are in this artificial world. That's all they know. They left the countries. They left the land where they can do whatever they want, create whatever they want. They left those lands to go live in the cities, to get jobs, to build other people, to help build other people's empires. They left their empires behind. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened. So the moon cycles, and start creating your own time space continuum. That way you'll be immune to a whole bunch of stuff that's happening to you. All right, now we at 30 minutes. I don't want to bore you the rest of the morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick off. Hope you guys have a good day, and pay attention to what's going on around you. Peace.